Tilka Majhi, 1750 to 1785. Tilka Majhi was an Indian freedom fighter and the first leader of the Santal community. He fought against the British in 1784, about 70 years before Mangal Pandey. He led the Adivasi to fight against British resource grabbing and exploitation. Tilka Majhi was born on February 11, 1750 in Tilakpur, a small village in Sultanganj, Bihar. He was part of the Santal community and his father was named Sundara Murmu. Growing up, Tilka was raised in the midst of forest life, hunting wild animals and participating in physically demanding activities such as wrestling and tree climbing. This lifestyle made him fearless and brave. Growing up, he witnessed the mistreatment of the tribal people by the British. The British ruled over the tribal people's land and resources, and often subjected them to violence and torture. Tilka Majhi grew up seeing the harsh treatment of English people towards his family and other tribal people. Sardars who lived on the hills also fought against the English government to protect their lands. The landlords who lived in the mountains cooperated with the British in exchange for money. Tilka Majhi eventually decided to fight back against the British, leading a rebellion of tribal warriors towards the forest areas of Bhagalpur and Sultanganj. Tilka Majhi was constantly fighting against the British government with his army. Tilka led a revolt against the British from 1771 to 1784. He took control of the Ramgarh camp with the help of Pahadia Sardars. On this revolt, Cleveland and Sir Eyre led the British army to fight Tilka's army. Tilka's soldiers secretly shot arrows at the British army while they were on their way to fight. Tilka was hiding in a palm tree, and when Cleveland rode by on his horse, Tilka shot him with an arrow and killed him on January 13, 1784. This news caused fear among the British government, rulers, soldiers, and officers. The British then launched an attack against Tilka's army, led by Ayerkut. Tilka Majhi was caught by surprise one night while he and his group were celebrating. A traitor attacked them and many soldiers were killed or imprisoned. Tilka managed to escape and hide in the mountains in Sultanganj. The English army searched for him in the surrounding mountains of Sultanganj and Bhagalpur. Tilka and his army had a hard time hiding in the mountains. They struggled with hunger and starvation. Tilka and his troops fought against the British in a guerrilla war. However, they were eventually captured by the British during the war. It is said that Tilka Majhi was captured by the British and tied to 4 horses. He was dragged to Bhagalpur while still alive, despite being covered in blood. His fierce determination and blood-red eyes frightened the British. On January 13, 1785, he was hanged from a big banyan tree at a road intersection in Bhagalpur. He was the first person to fight against them to gain freedom for India. In memory of Tilka, a statue was built in Bhagalpur. Tilka will always be remembered as a hero for India. Tilka Majhi was an Indian freedom fighter and the first leader of the Santal community. He fought against the British in 1784, about 70 years before Mangal Pandey. He led the Adivasi to fight against British resource grabbing and exploitation. A statue was made for Tilka Majhi in the spot where he was hanged. After India became independent, the statue was put near the SP Bhagalpur's house and named after Tilka. The Bhagalpur University was also renamed to Tilka Majhi Bhagalpur University.